My 40 male ex-wife, 40 female, wants me to be with her in her last days.
Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started.
My 40 male ex-wife, 40 female, wants me to be with her in her last days. Backstory: I met my ex when we were both 10. She is my twin sister's best friend, so we've always been kind of a trio growing up. We started dating at 14 and got married at 23. Things got ugly, though, cause 5 years after getting married, she told me she had a month-long affair with her co-worker. Apparently, the guilt was too much for her, so she confessed. We tried to work through it, but after a few months of trying, I knew that despite the fact that I loved her, I couldn't trust her anymore. She told me she still loved me and that she'd wait for me and prove that I was the only one. I wanted to believe her, but, some things just can't be fixed. We never had kids. 3 years after the divorce, I met my now wife, 38 female, and we got married 2 years after dating. She's everything I could ever dream of in a wife and more. My ex, as my sister told me, they're still besties. Never really recovered. She quit her job and is now working in a church. Throughout my relationship with my wife, she kept trying to get back together, and on a day of my wedding, she told me she still loved me and would love no one else. She said this was the last time she would bother me, but that she'll wait for however long it took. Apparently, she's honest in that regard, at least cause my sister says she's never been with anyone since. So, here's what happened recently. My wife and I, married for 7 years now, have 2 kids, 7 female and 3 male. My sister came over with her own kids so the cousins could play. While my wife was out to pick up lunch, my sister sat me down and told me the situation about my ex. Apparently, she only has less than 6 months to live. She refused treatment and wants to live last a few months to the fullest. I guess that's why her and my sister really went out of their way to travel despite the pandemic. One thing on her bucket list, though, was that she wanted to feel like my wife again. No sex, no kissing. She just wanted me to be around the house. She still lives in the house we lived in. Again, and maybe hold her from time to time. I told her I wouldn't do that, because that was pretty much emotionally cheating. My sister kept arguing and begging me to at least see her and hear her out. We kept arguing, no screaming. The kids were in the next room with her older daughter till my wife came back. My sister told her the whole story, and while she looked upset, she said she understood where my ex was coming from. When my sister left, my wife and I talked about it. My wife knows everything that happened in the past with my ex. She says while she isn't thrilled about the idea, she won't get upset if I decided to see her on a regular basis. My wife is literally the best thing that ever happened to me, and I love her more than anyone. She makes me happier than I've ever been in my life. Even in the good times with my ex, she knows I won't cheat. I also have 0 romantic feelings for my ex, so there's nothing lingering there. I don't hate her or anything. It's just that the love I had for her has long since died. After thinking about it for a while, I'm honestly 50-50 about it. I know I don't owe her anything, but I feel like I might regret not seeing her at least one more time, since the last time I saw her was on my wedding day, and that wasn't a good encounter for either of us, unless you count the times I occasionally see her in a store or something. I honestly feel like despite what she did, she still deserves to go with some peace. On the other hand, I'm not entirely sure if this might potentially affect our marriage. My wife says she's okay with it, and I believe her, but I just can't be sure that she'll feel the same way after it happens. I don't want anything to jeopardize what I have right now. No matter what, I'm not too thrilled about going myself, to be honest. Any advice? What should I do?